Thanks everybody for joining. Today I'm going to walk you through making your very first AI automation. If you've heard of things like faceless videos and faceless factories, but you have no idea where to get started, I'll answer all of those questions today. And faceless videos are able to get millions and millions of views on social media. This is one of the faceless accounts that I own, okay? So this stuff does work. And I'm going to show you how to build it out in a tool called N8N, which is awesome for workflow automation. So this video is for you if you have never built an AI automation before, because I'm going to try to go as slowly as possible. So if you are brand new to N8N, this is the great live stream for you. So the very first step is to download this tool called n8n.io. You can see in the diagram here, it's basically a tool to build out automated workflows. And they have really neat features like this AI agent feature can basically use ChatGPT, Claude, or Gemini as its brain to figure out what to do. So you can provide an instruction and it figures out what to do with the tools it has access to. So like these nodes here at the bottom are the tools it has access to. Once it completes the task, then it moves on to the next step. And that's typically how a workflow automation works. I think learning how to build workflows is a really foundational, fundamental skill that will serve you for the rest of your career. So I highly recommend diving into this, even if you're non-technical, even if it looks scary, because it'll help you think in terms of systems and in terms of automation. But yeah, so go ahead and sign up for n8n.io. You will eventually be able to host it completely for free. That's what I do. But if it's your first time, I recommend signing up just through the website instead of trying to self-host it on the very first time. So click get started here, sign up for your account, okay? And then you're gonna enter an admin panel that looks like this. And the one thing I wanna make sure you do is enable what are called verified community nodes. And so what that means is you can use other apps and services within N8N, even though N8N doesn't have an official integration for them yet. So you're gonna log into your N8N, go to your dashboard. It should look something like this. Look for this settings icon in the top left. Boom. And then scroll down until you see verified community nodes here. This allows you to install community-built node packages verified by N8N. Make sure this toggle is on, okay? And you'll likely have to restart your instance for those changes to take effect. So go back to your dashboard and then restart it. Okay, and then when you open your instance, it'll look something like this. Yours will probably be empty or maybe have some sample things there. Just to show you like the scope of what's possible in N8N, this is not something we're building today. This is not going to be your first workflow, but this is a very real live production, messy kind of workflow. Oh, wait, not here. Hang on, this one here. Let me click Blotato. Yeah, the support agent here. So this is like a real live workflow. It's my AI supports agent. It uses a lot of best practices like initially classifying response. Then it has an AI agent router that figures out which sub AI agent to delegate a task to. Each agent is equipped with tools specific to its purpose, such as the billing agent has access to Stripe MCP to handle billing things. It has access to help docs over here, and then it sends the reply back through a messaging app. This is an example of what you can build with N8N. Just to give you some idea, this specific workflow is handling 200 customer support tickets per day, 24/7. It's far from perfect, right? But it does handle about 65 to 70% of support tickets correctly the first time a customer asks. So this is just showcasing the power of what's possible. And we'll get there, but we're going to start with a very simple workflow today. Okay, so you're going to open it here. It'll probably be blank. So go ahead and click Create New Workflow. I'm actually going to just do it in my N8N local account over here. Okay, I'm going to close this one so I don't get confused. Let's just create a new workflow and call this my very first AI automation. Okay, so if you're brand new to N8N, I'm just going to point some things out. If you are familiar with N8N, I know this will seem repetitive, but just you take so much for granted because you're familiar with it. This initial screen I know already looks intimidating to someone who's brand new to this stuff. But how to think about N8N or any workflow tool is like a step-by-step process. Step A, Step B, if this happens, step C, if something else happens, step D. That's like the basic framework we're thinking about. So the first step here, on the right-hand side, we're just going to choose trigger manually. So all this means is we're just going to click a button and it's going to run the workflow. There are many other options, obviously. You can run your workflow on a schedule. When someone submits a Google form, you could trigger the workflow on a chat message. Let's say you get a message in Discord or WhatsApp, that can also trigger the workflow. But just for simplicity, since this is our very first AI automation, let's just click trigger manually, okay? So now you've just added this node, okay, trigger manually. So when clicking execute workflow, you may have noticed the button down here appear. This is execute workflow, and it's gonna run our workflow. And what we're gonna do in this AI automation is we're gonna build a faceless video factory. So there's a ton of demand for that. Like I mentioned in the beginning, faceless videos are getting millions and millions of views. This is one of my faceless channels, okay? And then what we're going to do is click the plus button on the top right corner, and we're going to search for my app called Blotato. It's this pink manatee over here. If you don't have it installed yet, you're going to see this large orange button that says install, right? If you already have it installed, then it'll be installed. And there are many things you could do with Blotato. I recently just added the ability to extract sources, meaning you can plug in a YouTube video or a TikTok video and it'll extract the content from it so you can remix it to something else. We're not going to get into that today, but for those of you who are advanced, you can do that right now. We're going to do this one, create visual. So this will allow you to create videos and carousels within N8N. So I know a lot just happened actually. So just to recap, make sure you click plus, search for Blotato, and then click install. That's the first step, right? So make sure you get there. When you open the node, so double click, left click to open it, it's gonna ask you to create a credential. I already have one, right? But for those of you who are brand new, it's gonna say create a credential. It's gonna look up a screen like this, but it's very easy. All you have to fill out is your API key. So I'm gonna show you how to get that. Okay, so this is my website, guys. So sign up for this, okay, click try for free. And then when you get into the app, it'll look like this. Go to settings on the bottom left, click API. This is where you generate your API key. Okay, so if you're brand new, it's gonna say generate API key. Click that button. Okay, and then click copy API key. Okay, so now we're gonna go back to N8N, and all we have to do is paste our API key here. Then there's gonna be a save button up here, so go ahead and click that. This is the one I actually use, okay? It should have this green banner, connection tested successfully, if you pasted in the API key correctly, okay? And that's it, that's actually all you have to do to set up Blotato. Now the rest of the fields will populate. And like I said at the beginning, we're building a faceless video factory here, right? So the action we're using is allowing us to do that. So Blotato allows you to post to social media, extract and scrape content. Like I mentioned, you can now plug in a YouTube video, a TikTok video, get the transcript automatically. And it can also create carousels, slideshows, infographics, and videos. So here, from this template list, this might be confusing. So you can actually go to the app, click videos, and see what templates are available. So click videos, click create new video, and then you'll see a preview of like different templates you can use. The first one we're gonna try is a carousel template. And the reason for that is because it renders instantly. So we don't have to like wait. Typically a video will take like several minutes to actually create. So it's just a little bit longer. We wanna make sure it works first before we actually generate a video and invest that time. So scroll down in the template list here. There's a lot of different template styles and stuff here. Let's do tutorial carousel with a minimalist flat style. And then all you have to do is put in the prompt you want. So all of these fields down here are optional overrides. So you can customize all of these things, but you don't have to do that, okay? So if it's your first time, all you need to do in this prompt section is put the topic that you want the carousel to be about. So let's say it's Claude coding tips for vibe coders. Okay, so whatever your topic is, you can put additional instructions, like if you want it to be a certain color theme, or if you want it to be a certain number of slides in your carousel, you can also put that in the prompt. But go ahead and click execute step here. So in general, in N8N, you can test each step before linking them all together. And that's generally best practice, so you don't have to sit around waiting for everything else to run. You can just try this step and make sure that it works. Okay, look, you see the check mark here, you see the status, so that means it worked, and now the video is queuing. If you go back to your Blotato account, it actually should automatically refresh. So if you saw, I don't know if you saw that in the video, but it automatically refreshed, and now we have an Instagram carousel of coding tips for Vibe coders. You might see here it says written by Claude, but you can actually, again, override that. So now if you scroll down, you can put things like your author name. If you have a specific CTA, or check link in bio. If you want a specific background color, text color, CTA title, profile name, things like that, I'm just going to put this as the same, okay? And then let's change the prompt again. Let's do 5 things, wish I had voice here, you didn't know you could do with Notebook LM, okay? Click execute step again. So we are just testing the creation of this visual. This means it was successful, right? The job is queuing, okay? And then the Blotato page should actually refresh with this. So 5 Notebook LM tips written by Sabrina Ramonov. If you remember, the previous carousel said written by Claude, but we actually overwrote it because we want our actual name in there, right? So author name, Sabrina Ramonov. Boom. Okay, and then it's giving us 5 tips for using Notebook LM. Okay, so that step is working well. The next step is to get the carousel. So you can either duplicate this or just add another node, but for those of you who are new to Anyden, like you can left click, double left click to open this, right? You can expand this. I'm just trying to show basic things that you can do. If you right click, you can execute the step, you can rename it. I think that's all I'll point out for now, or duplicate it. That was the other one. Okay, so I'm gonna duplicate it. And then I'm going to choose a different operation. So how N8N and many other workflow automation tools is like a resource is like the object you're operating on. So in this case, it's a video or a visual. And then the operation is like, what can you do with the object? I'm going to create the object, and then I'm going to get the object. So we just created it. Now I want to get it, right? And all I need is the video ID. But you might see this notice to wire me up. So this is where the workflow builder comes in. This is why N8N is so powerful. Our first step is going to be click execute workflow, drag this arrow to create visual, and then drag this arrow to get visual. So now we've connected all 3 steps in this workflow. Step 1 on the left is going to go first. The middle node is going to go next. And then when that's done, the 3rd node is to get the visual. Now, in a real situation, you typically want some kind of wait time because it might take some time for the visual to finish. So one way to do that, click this plus button. I think it's called wait, yeah. So look for this wait node, super handy. And since we're just making a carousel, I'm just going to wait 5 seconds. But when you make a video, you often have to wait like several minutes sometimes for the video to make. So now we have 4 steps. 1, to wait a couple seconds, and then we're going to get the visual. Let's open get visual again, because now we have to wire it up to the previous nodes. So click this button, execute previous nodes. Oh, actually, make sure that's sort of... Okay, let's just execute. Oh no, the workflow is, oh, since this is empty, I forgot. You need to put like something here or else Anyden will complain. Okay, so there, and then I'm gonna execute the workflow. So what this does is it just like populates all of the data. So now this node get visual will have access to the data from the previous steps. So remember, we created the carousel and it has a specific ID. So we're gonna drag it here. So if that was fast, I'll just back up. If you're brand new to N8N, each of these fields is like a variable you have to fill in. So we're trying to get the visual, so we have to provide the ID of the visual. So over here on the left are all the data points you have access to from the previous parts of the workflow. So when we created the visual, we got back a response that gave us the status of it, which is queuing, meaning the job is queued up, somebody's working on it, and then the ID of the job. So we actually want to drag it over here like this. So now this tells Anyden, I'm going to get this particular video. So execute this step, right? So up here at the top. And then this looks like a successful response. So you see the image URLs of each individual slide. So remember, we made a carousel first. We haven't made a video. You can copy paste this and open it in a new tab to check. Okay, so this is one of the carousel slides. So that looks good. Okay. And then what we can do is actually post this to social media. So I'm going to create another Blotato node. And you can create it from here, or you can just clone the node. But I just wanted to show all the different actions that are possible. So to publish this on social media, I'm going to click Create Post. Okay, I'm going to choose my platform. Let's say let me just choose my correct account. Make sure your credential is correct. And then I'm going to choose Instagram. And then this is my Instagram account. I'm just going to say I'm live on Instagram. That's going to be the caption for the post. And let's connect it to the rest of our platform. Okay, so now we have 5 nodes. It might look like a lot, but all that's happening is we're starting it. This is just the trigger for the workflow. Then we're creating the carousel. We're waiting 5 seconds. We're retrieving the carousel because it's done now. And then we're going to go publish the carousel on Instagram. Okay, so Instagram here. Now, the last field you should fill out here is media URLs. All this refers to is what are you posting? Are you posting a video? You have to put the URL here. If you're posting a carousel, you have to put the image URLs here. And thankfully, it's super easy. Just drag image URLs over here. Boom. That's it. That's all you have to do. So this is going to post on my Instagram like right now with this text and this slideshow. And I click execute step. Okay. And it should show up in my Instagram in just a few moments, in just a couple of minutes. So this is our very first AI automation. If you're an expert in N8N, obviously there are things we can improve here. So like a little bit of error handling if the visual's not ready yet, a retry if the publish didn't work for some reason. But yeah, so that's just the general flow. And I'm going to check Instagram now, and it'll probably take a few moments for it to actually post, but we'll check in a sec. Okay. Okay, so that was building our very first AI automation, but I said we want to build a faceless video factory. However, many people, especially businesses, actually would prefer to build a carousel factory, which is why I showed this first. So there are many other carousel templates to choose from here. So like Twitter's quote card with minimal style, photo video background. I'll just do another one to show you guys. So for example, monocolor background. Let's just execute this and we'll see. And then oh, and here's our carousel, by the way. So I switched to Instagram really quick. And this is the carousel that we literally just made in our automation, posted 10 seconds ago. Okay, so you can see all the slides here. And this was 100% automated here, right? Okay, but here I wanted to show you other styles of carousels. So this style was popularized by some mindset business influencers where it kind of looks like hand-drawn paper. This is another style that's really popular on Twitter. It's like a Twitter quote card. So let's execute that. And then you can see it here. It should refresh automatically when it actually creates the thing. Is it possible this automation can respond to all my email? Yeah, you can actually make an N8N automation that responds to all of your mail. Another tool for that, though, I will mention, honestly, if you're non-technical and you're just looking for email AI agent, is something called Fixer. I think it's Fixer AI. Oh, Fixer.com, sorry. Fyxer. Like the only thing it's focused on is AI for email. So classifying email, triaging email, taking meeting notes, creating drafts for email. And so a lot of people like try to build N8N just to do email, but I'll be honest, if you're non-technical, just use this. Like it's built for you. The only thing it does is emails, and it's surprisingly good. Obviously, if you're technical, you're comfortable with N8N, you can build most of this functionality yourself. But yeah, I mean, I would be doing a disservice if I did not mention this tool, this way easier way of doing things. Okay. Oh, and here's the Twitter quote card that we made. So this is a really popular style. If you've been consuming social media content for the past several years, you've seen this all over Twitter, LinkedIn, and Instagram as well. So this is another style that's available. But yeah, now let's try a faceless video, right? So this is our very first AI automation. I wanted to keep it as simple as possible. But now let's try a faceless video. And then I'm going to expand it even further to have an AI research agent, right? So we don't have to manually type in these prompts. Okay, so let's click template list. And then I think this one, is a video, or actually, let's try this. This is before a video. This is going to generate a bunch of images, but they won't be animated with an AI voiceover. But these are really cool because these do really well on TikTok. So I can't think of a topic right now. Actually, yeah, ski tips for icy conditions because I like skiing. So let's execute this. Now, this one is going to take some time to execute because the images are being generated by AI. And if you scroll down here, you can see all of these parameters. You can actually select which AI image model you want. So let's say we're going for more realistic type of aesthetic. I might choose Recraft V3. Let's say the text position is center, right? As you can basically change all of these if you want to. You don't have to. So I'm going to execute it again, actually, with these new parameters and see what we get. But it takes about 30 to 60 seconds to actually render this video. So you'll also want to increase your wait time here. So just don't forget about that based on the template you're using. So if you're using a template that has zero AI generation, it's just like a text carousel in a nice format and design, that's rendered within 5 seconds. If you're generating AI images, that can be like 1 to 2 minutes. So to be safe, I'd probably bump this to 2 minutes. And then if you're generating true video with multiple clips, that can take like up to 5, sometimes 10 minutes, depending on the model and depending on how many clips. So just keep that in mind that you will need to adjust the wait time depending on what you're creating. But yeah, one of them is done already. So this is AI image slideshow, and you can see a bunch of skiing stuff here. Let's go back. And then this one has the text that I wanted as well. So I remember the prompt I put was ski tips for icy conditions. So keep skis sharp, use a fine edge for control on ice, check and tune edges before you ride, use a low stance, make quick small turns to keep edge hold, check bindings and boots for secure fits. Okay, so that is an example of a viral TikTok style slideshow. So this style doesn't do as well on Instagram, but it does a lot better on TikTok. And that's what it's based on. So every single template, by the way, within Blotato is actually based on a super viral example. Otherwise, like, why would I make them? Okay, so now the last one we're going to try is an actual AI video. So create scenes with images, videos, or AI generated images. And then let's just run it and then see what happens. It's also going to create an AI voice with the video. So let's just execute this step. And this is what's going to take the longest. So we should see it here. So this new draft was created a few seconds ago, but this one is going to take some time because first it generates the images, and then it's going to apply an AI voiceover, and it's going to apply some slight transition animations. I didn't actually animate the AI images into videos. You can do this, but it takes even longer, right? So if you're familiar with image or video generation, basically we're generating the image first and then animating it into a video. So if you want to do that, all you have to do is toggle this setting. Okay. And then, yeah, this one will take a while to create, but yeah, it's pretty fun so far. And you can browse all the different templates here and stuff. I'm trying to think of what else is important to know if it's your very first time. I think just read the output messages. If there are errors here, you will see helpful error messages on the right-hand side. These links are helpful as well. So this API dashboard helps you debug any issues. You can see all of the API requests we've made to the service. Oh, okay. So here's our AI video. I don't know if you guys can hear sound, but there's actually an AI voice that's narrating the scenes and stuff. And the nice thing with this particular template is you have total control. So if you want a very specific sentence for one particular scene, you can do all of that in N8N. I'm just showing the most basic usage, which is put any random prompt in and it'll make something that looks decent. So this is actually an AI video. It automatically applied an 11 Labs voiceover to the video. You guys probably can't hear that on the live stream, but I can hear it on my end. Okay, so I think that's it. So now we have transitioned from an Instagram carousel factory to a TikTok slideshow factory to now a faceless video factory. And the cool part with the faceless videos, there's so many parameters you can play with. It's all different voices, all different models. Again, you can animate AI images into video clips, so it's not static. Transition effects, you can trim things to voiceover, so it's precise. So really neat, but more advanced. So I'm really sticking to just this prompt field if you're starting out. Are you self-hosting N8N? Yeah, I have both a cloud N8N and a self-hosted N8N. For my actual workloads and stuff, I use self-hosted N8N. Yeah. But yeah, so that's pretty much it in terms of building your first AI automation. Let's move on to the intermediate step. How do we get this prompt in here? This prompt seems basic, or maybe I want an AI agent that researches the most trending news. So let's go here. Let's add Blotato again. And what's cool is you can now extract content from other sources. So YouTube videos, TikTok videos. There's also an AI research agent that uses Perplexity under the hood. I'm actually going to put it right here. Create source. And then it has like a related one called get source. So make sure this is connected and change create to get. Okay. And then we're going to hook them up here. And other neat things, if you're new to N8N, this broom down here at the bottom left will tidy up your workflow. So instead of like manually dragging and dropping things, you can just click that and it makes everything neat for you. Okay, so what is a source? I know that's a technical sounding term. All it is like a piece of content or information that's publicly available. So just to give you an example, let me just pull up like any random YouTube video. I don't know what that is. Okay. I listen to a lot of music. Okay. Let's do this one. Okay. That's the Hormozy. So you can put in the URL of a YouTube short. You can also put in custom instructions. We're not going to do that yet. We're just going to put in the YouTube short, execute this step. Okay. Similar to before, you start the process and then you retrieve the outcome. So we're going to plug in the ID here. Okay, from create source, you drag it here, click execute step, and this gives you, I'm just gonna shrink this, and now you can see like all of the contents from that YouTube video. And I plugged in a short, but you can plug in a long form YouTube video. You can plug in TikTok videos, articles, PDFs, websites, audio URLs, for example, podcasts that you've downloaded. You can also paste in raw text and you can transform it. You can also do AI research, which is powered by Perplexity. So for example, this one's really fun. Let's say top 5 security issues with Claude Bot. And then optional instructions is really fun. You can basically take all of that research from the AI Perplexity agent and summarize it in a format for social media. And it can do it all in one step, so you don't have to have a separate ChatGPT account or a separate Perplexity account, right? So let's say, yeah, let's use a summarize in 5 detailed bullet points for an Instagram carousel. And execute this. Okay, that's done. Now let's get whatever it did. It's still being processed. This one takes a little bit longer because it is using an AI research agent under the hood. So it's probably collecting sources, trying to fact check, etc. But yeah, whenever it's done, click execute step. Okay. And yeah, so here is the content separated into 5 distinct steps. This toggle here is just to clean up like timestamps and all of these things. So this is nice. And then let's create a carousel with it. So I'm trying to think which carousel might look nice with it. Let's just do a quote card. Yeah. And then here, what you want to change for this prompt, you want to drag the content. So all we're doing is we're telling the AI research agent, here's like the general topic I want to research on. I could make it even more general. What is the latest trending AI news this past week? Because it's using Perplexity, so it's really good at research. So here I'm going to drag the output of it, which is, remember we asked it to summarize the research into 5 detailed bullet points for Instagram. So now execute this step, and then it's going to start making our carousel. Okay, and then let me refresh this. Okay, here it is, created a few seconds ago. Okay. And then I'm trying to think if I want to change anything here, but typically for this template, you'll probably want to put your social media handle, your profile URL, and your name, right? So it's not just like some other person's name. Okay, and here it is. So yeah, you can see otherwise like the AI prompt will try to fill in the name and handle with something else. So you probably want to put your name and handle. So supply chain attacks via Claude Hub skills, let hackers upload malicious modules, public. This is pretty technical for this type of template, but it's pretty cool. Yeah, and then in our workflow, so we've created the carousel, then we get the carousel, and then we can publish this to Instagram immediately. And so, yeah, this is really powerful for your very first AI agent. We haven't actually used the agent node, but we could. So we could hook up, and if you're familiar with N8N, we could hook up an AI agent node and make these create source and get source and create visual tool calls. I've done that as well, but it depends. Like if you're beginner to intermediate, I honestly suggest keeping it linear so you have a very clear understanding of what to expect and what's happening. But yeah, let's say you want to generalize this a bit more. So your query might be like, so let's say the latest AI news from the past week, or I'm trying to think of something that's not AI news related, or timeless principles behind the psychology of money. I just filmed a YouTube video on this, which is why it's top of mind. And then what you could do is instead of this trigger, so by the way, if you're new to N8N, you can click play. So when you hover over a node, you can click play to execute that node. You can deactivate it. So this power button means it's deactivated. You can delete the node, or you can right click and see a lot more options. So what we're going to do here is delete this and then add a different trigger, let's say on a schedule. So what this means is it's going to run every day at, let's say, 10 a.m. Okay. So this is the very first node. So now what we've done in our AI automation is it's going to run every day at 10 a.m. It's going to research something about this topic. It's going to summarize it in the format of an Instagram carousel. It's going to create the carousel in this step. It's going to wait for it until it's done, and then it's going to publish the carousel on Instagram, completely automated. Obviously, best practice is to add a human in the loop step here, like to make sure your content is high quality and things like that. But I'm just showing if this is your first time building an AI automation, keeping it as simple as possible with a straight line, but still very powerful. And this is only using one tool. So if you click plus here, let's just type any letter, A, you'll see that N8N has lots and lots of different nodes. And I'm literally not even using any of them. I'm just using the one I made. But N8N is very powerful because of all of these integrations with all of these other services. So you could add an OpenAI call, or let's say you want to update your Airtable that keeps track of all of this information. So after you publish to Instagram, you want to push it to Airtable, you can do that as well. Maybe you want to send an email to yourself. So type Gmail, let's see, send, or create a draft, or just actually send the message. I can't see it. Oh, here, send a message. Okay. So this will send an email. You can have them happen in parallel. So let's say we're done publishing to Instagram. Okay, next we're going to send a Gmail to myself or the team, and we're going to update our Airtable. You can have a human in the loop step. Okay, I'm just showing like things that are possible if you're brand new to this. I forgot what it's called. Oh, here. So don't type anything, just click human in the loop. Okay. And what this will do is we'll send information to you via Discord, Gmail, Google Chat, or whatever you choose. Let's say we choose Gmail. Okay. And then it will require your approval before continuing the workflow. And so that's really nice. Let's say it's between these two steps. So what that will do is it will send you an approval email. If you click approve, then it's going to post it on social media. If you click decline, then it's not going to post it on social media. So there are all kinds of neat things you could do with a human in the loop, with updating systems of record like Airtable, Google Sheets, or whatever it may be. And so just like really many very powerful things. You could have this automation trigger on many other types of triggers. If you send a Discord, this automation could trigger. If you send a Gmail to yourself containing a certain subject line or subject word, this automation could trigger. And so there's really a lot of possibilities in terms of how to continue building this out for your needs. I was just trying to show, hopefully this was helpful, like the bare minimum case that is already very powerful. And let's say, by the way, that you want to publish somewhere else. So you can duplicate this, right? So this one's Instagram. I might rename this so I don't forget. So this is Instagram. And let's say I want to publish that same slideshow to TikTok. Okay. So I'm just going to do that here. Publish Instagram, TikTok. It's already duplicated. So I just have to change my account, really. TikTok. Okay. I have these accounts, right? And so now this workflow is going to every single day, research this topic, timeless principles of the psychology of money. It's going to create a carousel or a faceless video, right? You saw that we created both. It's going to then post it to TikTok and Instagram in parallel on autopilots. And like I mentioned, you can build this workflow up to have human in the loop to ensure quality. You can update systems of record like Airtable and Google Sheets. You can communicate with other stakeholders, sending Gmails or Slack updates. So there are many ways to continue building this out. But this is a pretty incredible and powerful base for your first AI automation. And this is something you can definitely sell to businesses that struggle with being consistent on social media. For example, you can imagine a workflow where all your client has to do is upload something into Google Drive or write something in Google Sheets. And then it triggers an automation that makes high quality content just from that. So they don't have to like log into Instagram, log into TikTok, log into LinkedIn, log into Twitter, log into Facebook, log into Pinterest, upload to each one. Like they don't have to do that. And so I like to show this because it's literally a straight line, very simple, but incredibly powerful and a lot of versatility. So we started with the slideshows and carousels, which is great for TikTok and Instagram, but you can also make faceless videos like this. For example, all of these faceless videos were made in Blotato. It's definitely doable. You just have to change the parameters and think about the topics that you want to make faceless videos on. Where are we using AI, you might be wondering. So for example, here in creating a source, this AI research step is actually using an AI agent behind the scenes to perform research on this topic. And then this optional instruction, you can put anything here. I just gave an example of summarizing it, but you can put anything here. And again, it uses an LLM to take the research or content you've extracted from a YouTube video or TikTok video, and then it can transform it in any way you want. So that's AI as well. And then obviously creating the visual. Because if you notice here, like I didn't manually fill any of this out. I just put in a prompt. So from one prompt, we're able to generate like a visual carousel that looks good, visually consistent, and has high quality information from the previous research step. So you literally don't even have to fill this out. We're just using this prompt. There's actually AI behind the scenes here to convert your prompt into these structured parameters. So that's where I'm applying AI behind the scenes so that you as a user don't have to worry about it. You only have to fill this out if you want to explicitly override these values. And then I think that's it in terms of where we're using AI. The last step is just actually publishing to social media, which doesn't really involve AI. It's just really tedious and annoying to connect to the social media platforms. So the tools I'm demoing here are called n8n.io. You can also do the same thing in make.com, by the way. I have nodes in make.com as well, but I do think N8N has a lot more YouTube tutorials, to be quite honest, in terms of getting it set up. And you can run it completely locally. So I self-host mine literally locally in my closet next door. Which is not great, by the way, if the power's ever out, but it is fun. And then, yeah, the other tool I'm showing is the tool I built called Blotato. It has thousands and thousands of users, and you can also just use the website, by the way, if workflow automation stuff is too scary. But if you're ready for workflow automation stuff, it has a really powerful API that allows you to extract content, perform research, create visuals, including infographics, faceless videos, carousels, and slideshows for TikTok, and then post to every single social platform. So even though I'm just demoing Instagram here, I support all the other platforms as well. So you can post in parallel to all of them.